this is a play where it's getting worked around the zone a lot. So high stance here. Trying to see what this guy's going to do. Like he could shoot that, so I get into a bit of a mid stance.
Yeah.
Moves it over to a bit of a bad angle. So I get over on my feet and try to find a little bit more of that high stance until he starts walking in. And then you got to start worrying about him slinging this on net.
Right.
So I start to build coverage. He's at a pretty bad angle, so I can get away with going down early here. Like I said, when you get into these types of areas, I feel a lot more comfortable being down there in terms of coverage and movement. So the last thing you want to do is give one up, 5-hole there because you can't see the release and you're on your feet.
Right.
So I prefer to go down in those situations, and it makes for a pretty clean move here, kind of like exactly what happens. So same thing, eyes over the top of it. Good angle to push, not too far out, more back towards the post, and it ends up, it's a backdoor play that ends up hitting right in the chest. So that's what you want.
It's a great clip for the quote unquote just stand up crowd.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because
you're like stand up here, I think you're in a pretty disadvantageous position. I think you're more off balance. Because you're trying to find the puck first of all, and if you were to just sling that on net and you're on your feet and that goes 5-hole, that's a tough one to give up. And he's at, like I said, he's at a bad enough angle where my preference is to be down there for sure, and it makes for, like I said, a good coverage on the shot and an easy rotation and movement, just kind of all in one motion for the pass.
Where this guy's at right now, he's going to have two options, basically. He's going to, the guy in the middle is going to drive through, obviously, to push my D back. And when he drives through, that's going to open up the lane for this guy on the weak side.
Okay.
And the way that this guy's looking right now, he's making it pretty obvious that he's going to pass.
Okay.
But basically, you can see my stance here as a little bit, this is before I kind of transitioned to be more upright. So I'd rather be a little bit more upright just because of how far away he is. But I really like my depth here. I'm toes on the top of the crease. I'm not outside of my crease because he's not that big of a threat from here. So this guy is either going to shoot it or he's going to try to chip it to this guy driving the net for a net drive from the middle, or he's going to hit that guy on the weak side here. And so obviously he hits the guy on the weak side here. And where the guy passed it and where the guy received it, you can get there on your feet, even if he one times it. Like, it's, if you're quick enough and you're a good enough skater, you should be able to get there on your feet. Okay. So here I am getting there on my feet. I'm able to get there, get set. And then from there, it's just filling space and making the save. But because he's on his one-time side, he's on his left hand, I'm not as worried about him going short side. I want to make sure I'm not going too far and giving him the whole far side, because that's most likely where he's going to shoot. Similar to the one that we did earlier where the guy was on his offhand and he's probably going high glove because that's like he had the short side here. This guy, he's a lefty, so he's going to have, the left side of the net or the far side to shoot at. So then you can just fill space, use your body. And yeah, that's basically it.
I was going to say, so watch it from the back end. You say fill space, but there's a reactive element to this save, I think.
For sure, yeah. You got to react still. You can't just drop and seal, especially when a guy's there.
Right.
But you see my head's attached to the puck the entire time. I'm watching the puck the whole time, and that's huge because that kind of tells me that, that he wasn't going to one-time it.
Right.
Because, like, if you go back just a tiny bit.
Oh, crap. I went back too far. Sorry, give me 1 sec.
No worries.
There we go.
So yeah, so like here, it's like the first thing I'm doing is turning my eyes over, and you can see where he receives it. It's like, okay, I know he's not going to one-time that. Like I can get there on my feet. Like he's going to be a little bit delayed, because of where his hands are and where his body is and where he received the pass from. So yeah, head goes, hands go, and then from there it's just watching the puck and getting your feet set too. You see my feet get completely set, and then because my feet are completely set, I'm able to react up. Whereas, like, if my feet weren't completely set, and say I was still drifting out or whatever, it would have been really hard to react and make a save. I probably would have just dropped and gone forward. It probably would have gone, in the top corner there.
Anything about the way he, like you said, he catches it, or anything about, like, I mean, it's all sort of innate. You've seen so many tens of thousands of shots over the years, but about the way he's winding it, pulling it, hands, hips, head, anything that tells
Yeah, I
you
think
is
it's
going
just.
far
I
side?
think the way his body's angled, it's just kind of it's screaming like far side, like blocker side there. I think like the way his knee is and the way his hands are, it's like I don't know how you're gonna get that short side. His knee more than anything,
Right, it's the top one to pull.
For sure, exactly. And so, yeah, he just catches it, and he's going to be wanting to release it pretty quick there. And yeah, that's pretty much it. But yeah, you can see just how like I'm planted there. I'm not drifting. I'm not sliding one way or the other. I'm just getting there on my feet set, and that allows you to still be reactionary and track the puck and to make the save.
Just like that.
This is again, I mean, this is another great one, but the dual option scenario where you're just trying to force them to either go one way or another. But
Okay.
I actually remember talking. I can't remember who was backing me up in this game. I think it was Rhymes. Yeah, I think it was Rhymes.
I
But I
love
remember
Rhymes.
talking to him where you can see this is like to me a very clear situation. This is the situation of the 2-on-1 where if you shoot this and you don't pass it to this, you're playing on human nature, right? So if if he shoots this and he doesn't pass this, he's going back to the bench, and Benny is like, dude, what are you doing? I was like, are you sleeping tonight? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so like I think that you got to play on that human nature a little bit. And as you can see, I go one knee down here pretty early because I recognize that super early. See, I get so flat. My left leg starts to load up before he even. But I remember telling Rhymes after this game, I was like, that was a good save. But if he would have shot this low blocker while I was loading into that left leg, he probably would have scored. And so it's just like the game happens that fast, and you're just playing on human nature. Like he has to pass this puck, or at least try to pass this puck.
Right.
And it just worked out in this situation, and it looks cool. It looks like a sweet save, but really, it's not that difficult of a save. Everything's kind of like tailor made for you here, I think.
Okay, so but at the same time, like when you, by the time you drop that knee, I guess you're flattening out a little bit. Like he's no longer in a shooting position. It's already sort of like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know that you were as exposed as you think you were here.
No, but it's all a dance too, where it's like these things. Like I'm not making this decision right now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like the game happens way too fast.
It has to be instinct.
If you think about it, like our defenseman had the puck and he had time and space to make a play, and it's just like this thing has to happen instinctively. But again, like I'm just trying to create as few decisions in my life as possible. So I'm just thinking square. Oh, I got square to this guy. Like you said, you can probably feel he doesn't have a great shooting angle, and this guy is streaking in on the back door. Like I'm just gonna play off instinct here. I'm gonna go for it.
Load up and push. See the key to the load and the push. Like, are there any sort of, when you look at the mechanics of it all that you like in this one?
For sure. I mean, you can see my head obviously and that's the most integral thing. If your head and your body are connected into that, and like I make a pretty nice move here to get all of that over. I like that. I just don't know that you can make that save really any other way. I mean, you could probably spread into that would be a good decision. I kind of get a little half spread there.
Yeah.
But that's a very difficult save physically. And like I said, that's all pretty natural. So I can't really take credit for making those decisions in real time, but
well, you can take credit for doing the work to have those instincts so ingrained that they come out at the right moment.
Exactly. And that's what you're hoping for. But
and then the plays never like, it's funny because I just want to ask you, this may not be the way you do it all the time, but like so many times when we come across on lateral plays and we end out just the human, like the momentum takes us outside our post. The importance of it's not done, and making sure
Right.
you get back to a post at that point. Even if this, the spin move might not be the way you teach it every time, you get back to that post. And if you don't, if you take time to try and do it, like technically,
Right,
don't know
you're
not getting there.
Right, it's probably a goal. I mean, the other thing too is like this goes back to the principle of living your life as a goalie every day. If you take that same principle into this,
Right.
if I'm connected to the puck at 100% of the time when it's in my zone, I don't even think about that, right? Like I'm just trying to stay square to the puck all the time.
Including when I noticed when you're defenseman, where it looked like it was going to be a nice clean exit, you're still not just watching it, but you're moving your body in position with it the whole time.
Why not? I mean, why not? It just makes your life so much easier. If I'm square all the time, I never have. It's like if I'm ready all the time, I never have to get ready. I just stay ready.
Love it.
So kind of like that thought process, and like you can see where it's like right now I'm not trying to make a save. I'm just like, oh, let's get square, get square, get square. Have a great head, get over, and then things take care of themselves. Your body works naturally in that way.
Love it. I love it.
Yeah, I would say, as you get more comfortable in the net,
But first, you're dealing with traffic.
yeah. I think the big thing is you develop an ability to trust yourself a bit more and trust that you can make your save, on your goal line if you have to. And some situations call for that. I think, one of the worst things you can do as a goalie is get caught moving at the puck.
Right. So again, that's a tough read too, because he pulls into the short side and takes your eyes away. That you regain. I love that. That was the other thing I liked about this. The decision, like if you keep pulling short side, you come across middle, you see it, and then this push and this play. He's a skill player too, man. There's so many in the league now.
Yeah, it's a tough one because he has
Eriksson
Ek just waiting on the back door, so you can't really jump out at him too much.
Okay.
I think that situation, Bros probably did a good job cutting off, the far side.
Okay.
Try to have that, communication between the D and the goalie, where anytime the puck's on the flank like that, the D kind of takes away that far side, or hopefully deters it a bit,
Okay.
and it leaves me to the short side. And then if I know he's shooting short side, and I'm in that position, I know I can make that save.
Okay, so the other part of this too that I liked is we will see goalies come across in reverse and sort of lose that rudder edge or let it drift into the back of the net. The way you activate it here is that, I don't mean to lead the witness, Your Honor, but is that what allows you to get a little elevation in this? Like
Yeah,
it's the backside
sure.
edge?
Yeah, I'm almost like coiled in, right? And that's what would allow me to, if he goes backdoor, to be able to get that push. If I go in flat in the butterfly, you just don't have any like points of contact to anchor yourself, really.
So in this case, you've got both. Like you've got that rudder edge, and then you've got your inside edge in the post.
Like that inside edge is the big one.
Okay. The one on the post or the one on the inside of the?
Inside, towards the middle of the ice. Because if he puts that back door, and both legs are down, like then it's just a scrambly play. I don't have any rotation to come back to get to that backdoor play.
So I think that's an important lesson. But that's one for
Yeah.
kids. If I was watching you do crease movement, like, and when I watch these videos, like every time you go post to post, you get that leg up into a loaded position as opposed to leaving it flat on the goal line.
That's true. I think I see a lot too with younger kids. Like usually that back leg's just kind of like a dead leg,
Just
right?
hanging
And
back.
it's the most important thing in that position is to keep that anchored and strong, because that gives you the rotation. It even gives you the ability to push. If you ever go in the reverse and you notice your anchor leg isn't really locked in, you won't be able to push off the post. It's like that push into the post what gets you off the post.
Right, exactly. Love it.